Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Andrew Goad for the 30-day video series. Today is day 29, so it's the day before the last day. I'm excited and nervous about it, but that's okay. So today's title, the topic of today's video is called Keep Pushing the Status Quo. And why I think that's important is because when we as humans choose to stop growing and just existing like on a plateau, it's okay, but it kind of becomes like our status quo, right? Like it becomes what we know to be true about ourselves. And if you don't push and challenge your own status quo, you're always going to get kind of the same results that you've gotten for the rest of your life. If you've grown, if you've grown personally or academically or whatever, you're going to start to get different results. But as soon as you stop growing, and you don't necessarily choose to keep pushing yourself, you're going to be in a status quo forever. So it's really important to continue to challenge yourself and grow. For me, it feels continually more and more important all the time to keep feeling more empowered as a person, to keep feeling more and more on mission and on purpose as a man, and to kind of just feel vibrant and alive. So I like those things. And I think in general, like it's valuable and useful to like challenge the status quo in life. When someone says, "Oh, like you shouldn't expect too much," or "Oh, you shouldn't try and do this because, no one else can do it." The no one else can do it part, that's the status quo. Who the fuck wants to be part of the status quo? I don't. I'm open to like appreciating those people, but like I want to strive to be the best I can be. And like it's not that hard to challenge the status quo. It's questionable if you always want to grow. I kind of do as a person, which is why it's good that I'm a life coach, but not everyone always wants to challenge the status quo, but even if you don't always want to, it's useful to do it at least every once in a while. At least shake your system up a little bit, It's it reminds me of the scene in Fight Club. For those people who've seen Fight Club, it's the scene where, and for those of you who haven't, go see it because it's an awesome movie. But for those of you who have, it's the scene where Brad Pitt is with Edward Norton, and Brad Pitt has a gun with him, and he goes into the convenience store and holds the gun to the clerk's head, and I don't remember what he says to the guy, but it gets the guy really freaked out and shook up, and Brad Pitt doesn't shoot him, but what he says, like after the situation is over, to Edward Norton, he says, "That guy's life is never going to be the same because I just shook him up." That's essentially what he's saying, and so he's going to go home. This is what they said in the movie. He's going to go home and have an amazing breakfast the next morning because he's like, "Oh my God, I feel so good to be alive." He's going to, kiss his wife or make love to her like he's never had before because he's like so excited and so happy to be alive, right? But like, kind of the same thing is true about challenging the status quo, just like shaking yourself up a little bit. And also the same thing goes for like challenging yourself and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Like that's kind of the same thing in my mind. The status quo is like your comfort zone. So like do something that enables you to grow every once in a while. Like try something different. And if you're really ambitious, like I feel like I'm ambitious in terms of my personal growth, like I always want to challenge the status quo. I'm always trying to do things that feel uncomfortable because I know that my growth and where I want to be is on the other side of my comfort zone. So go after and challenge the status quo. Don't go after the status quo. Go after what's outside of it, because that's where the genius is. That's where the brilliance is. That's where you're going to find the nuggets of gold that are worthwhile in your life. It's going to be outside of the status quo. And you can live there for a while, but that's my personal philosophy, is like challenge your status quo. Keep pushing the status quo. Alright, this has been Andrew Goad for day 29. I will be back for day 30 tomorrow to wrap up the video series with a video about being on purpose and on mission and living into those things. Alright, so until then, this has been Andrew Goad. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.